Good morning. This is Pastor Ray Frank, Syracuse Wesleyan Church. And today is Monday, December the 1st. Wow, the last month of the year. You're getting close to Christmas. Well, and I'm very well aware that we have entered into Advent season, which is a time for us folks who follow the Lord to get our hearts ready and be thinking about and preparing for the wonderful celebration of Jesus coming and Emmanuel with us, the baby born in a crib in Bethlehem. And so I know that, but I'm still kind of stuck on Thanksgiving. And I wanted to do a little bit of musing today about things that we take for granted. You know, Lorna and I had the wonderful privilege just last week of driving from here to see my Aunt June in Hutchinson, Kansas, and then up to Lebo, Kansas for my grandson's wedding, and then from there up to Rapid City, South Dakota to visit Lorna's in-laws, our family and friends there, and then back home to Syracuse. A journey of a little over 1,700 miles in just 4 days. I decided this morning when I was getting up that I'm a little old for these kind of excursions anymore. But one of the things that happened, and of course lots of time to listen to devotions and have great discussions with my wife, and so I enjoyed the trip very much. And one of the things that Lauren had read to me was a devotional about a guy who said, what would happen if we didn't take the blessings of God for granted? And of course, you know, it's impossible for our little, or at least my little puny human brain, to think about all the things I should be thankful for. But he mentioned some of the things that we take for granted, such as gravity, oxygen, and sunlight. Oh, really? I had to sort of chuckle because I don't think that I've ever thanked God for gravity. And I doubt if I've ever even thanked Him for the air I breathe, or for the fact that our sun gives this old dirt ball life itself. And as I was thinking about those three things that we take for granted, I thought about how critical they are. I mean, we couldn't live without any of those. And I like oxygen, okay? Now, I've rarely had choking experiences. I have a few times, you know, when I couldn't get my breath and all of a sudden you are focused on air. But I decided to, just for the fun of it, do a little Google search about why is oxygen important to us. You know, once in a while I like to pretend I'm a little smarter than I am. So I wanted to, you know, be the professor here and look this up. And so I can tell you today, we need oxygen to survive because it's essential for our cells to produce energy through a process called cellular respiration. Oxygen acts as the final electron acceptor in the electron transport chain. Doesn't that sound educated? Which allows our cells to efficiently convert the fuel from food, like glucose, into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the energy currency of the body. Without this constant supply of energy, cells cannot perform their functions, leading to brain damage and death in a matter of minutes. So, hey, be thankful for oxygen, okay? Well, there are a whole lot of things that I rarely think about. I sort of take for granted, but as I was driving along on this trip, decided to try to think of a few things that I do take for granted unless they're suddenly gone, and then it's a big deal, you know, like eyesight. I visited with a wonderful lady in our church this morning, and she shared with me how the doctors are telling her that her eyes are failing. And she has started to try to investigate and find ways of adapting to life without eyesight, and it sobered me. And the fact, you know, just the way our eyes are created, it's a marvelous, amazing thing. And the fact is we see in color, not just black and white. It's an amazing thing. Or hearing, for that matter. The tilt of the earth that gives us our seasons as we rotate around the sun. Or the fact that on a clear moonless night in western Kansas, we can see anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 stars in a moonless sky. It's an amazing thing. In fact, if you want to feel worshipful, and this is a good time of the year because it gets dark real early. Drive out in the country for a while, get out of the car, look up at the sky. God's creation is amazing, and we take it for granted. The psalmist said, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. Do I really know it? Well, if I stop and reflect and thank the Lord for it, and then I got into whole things about a whole lot of things that we take for granted, like electricity. We take it for granted, or at least I do, until it goes off. And then, we're sort of in a panic. What are we going to do? The food's going to spoil. And all of our modern appliances, refrigerators, stoves, ovens, microwaves, washers and dryers, toasters, smartphones, and coffee makers. We normally don't give them much thought unless they break down. Did you ever, next time you're making a cup of coffee, thank God for this gadget that makes good coffee so easily. Well, our vehicles starting at the turn of a key or the push of a button. It's a wonderful thing until they don't work. Do I take it for granted? Or more seriously, maybe the freedom that we have, at least here still in America, to worship God as we please, not as some government official thinks we should. I thank God for His blessings that I normally take for granted. And I want to challenge you. Make this a week of making your own list of things that you've taken for granted, that you haven't stopped to thank the Lord for. Especially if you're going through a time of sort of, having little pity parties or feeling sorry for yourself. You still have a lot of things to thank the Lord for. We all do. So have a great week of thankfulness, particularly for the things we tend to take for granted. God bless you.